your suggestion is, try to avoid the MRT, which is the train. What about this GeepMe? Is that a
Oh, that's iconic.
Hello, Mary. Welcome to the podcast sessions. I am very excited to have you on the episode. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Hi, Pavel. Thank you so much for having me. This early, I'd want to thank you already. I'm so excited.
That was one of the reasons to invite you in the podcast sessions because you're an exciting person, you're a happy person, and I just love meeting happy people, even though it's online. It's still a meeting. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Pavel. It's like
Okay.
I haven't talked to you for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, you said we haven't talked to me for a while. The reason why, well, we met a few times already, and the place we met was the classes I teach about filming, scripting, and editing. And you are an
Yep.
amazing student. That's what I can say. Um,
Oh, thank you.
oh, you're welcome. I'm not just saying that. I mean it. Um,
Thank
Today
you.
we're gonna be talking about the Philippines, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited to learn about the Philippines. But before that, I always ask my guests, tell us about
Mm-hmm.
you. Who are you? Where are you from? Are you born in the Philippines? How long you live there? And what you're doing? Hobbies, curious facts, whatever it is. Your stage is yours. Go on, share with us, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Merryl. You can call me Mex. And it's okay to disclose my age. I'm 30 years old, 30 and proud. I was born in the Philippines. I have been staying in the Philippines for the past 30 years. And I am working in the family business right now. So we do a little bit of electricals, we do a little bit of construction. And I have always been fond of reading. I, fo- I am very interested in creating stories. And right now I have discovered a newfound love in video content creation thanks to Pavel and his mentoring. Um, and then I am usually out and about because of the family business. And yeah, that's it. Curious facts about me. What? Maybe when I was born, here in the Philippines, we have this belief that whatever the mother eats, that's what the child becomes. So when my mom was pregnant of me, she was craving for fertilized duck egg. So that's balot in the Philippines. It's one of the top five freakiest foods in the world. So I came out so hairy, she barely recognized me.
Top five what?
Freakiest food in the world.
Freakest
Fertilized duck egg. Yes.
frutilized. Hold on, let me Google that. Frutilized.
Fertil it's for duck egg. Just Google duck egg.
Okay. So what
It's
did you say?
called balot.
Okay. So why did she pick this food then?
Mothers just crave for it. Like when they're pregnant with you in the first 2 to 3 months, they would crave for a certain type of food. So in the case of my brother, my mom craved for fruit salad, so he came out so white because fruit salads are white, right? It's filled with milk. Me, I have no idea why. She craved for fertilized duck egg, and I came out so hairy. She couldn't recognize me. So
Harry.
that's my
Did you
curious.
say
Yes,
Harry? So what's the
yes.
connect?
I had because a fertilized duck egg. But have you seen it? It's so hairy. You should Google it, Pavel. So
I
I
just
came out
googled
so
duck egg and
hairy.
it's like an egg.
Yeah, but you look what's inside. Look what's inside. And for all those traveling, so it's also something, a fact about the Philippines, all tourists are obliged to eat balot. You don't
Obliged.
leave the, yes, I oblige. You do not leave the Philippines unless you have tried balot or fertilized duck egg. Filipinos
Okay.
will make you eat. I promise
So
you.
hold on. Isn't that an egg that started developing to become a duck? But is it dead?
Well, so what they do is while it's developing, they, how do you call it? It's like they boil it. They boil it while it's
Yeah.
developing. It
Yeah.
sounds so bad, but that's how they make it. So they boil it so the chick dies, right? So when it dies, they sell it. So when you buy it, there's still the soup, there's still the young duck, and then you eat everything. The beak, the feather, the bones. It's still very small. So it's not really yucky, but Yeah.
It okay.
Tourists
It's not
freak out.
yucky. I don't know, for Europeans and Americans. I think that this will be yucky. But that
Yeah.
always that always amazes me when different cultures have different setup in a way, and then
Yes.
when another culture comes like, oh, how do you even do that? I was like, oh, okay. And it's so bizarre. Wow, is that something in the Philippines, like tradition to eat this?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
It is. Every Filipino, if you're a tourist, for example, like you, Pavel, when you visit the Philippines when all this pandemic is over, and I would personally tour you around, please call me. I will make you eat balot. And you
Oh,
will not leave until you eat it. Because when
I'm
you
not sure
open it,
if
you'd be like, ew.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna call you now.
But yeah, that's my curious fact.
Okay, that is indeed curious. Well done, job well done on striking me with the curiosity here. Um, I think we should start. We should start with the food since we just started talking about food. But before that, before we started recording this episode, you said, "What do you do? No, what do you usually do when the electricity cuts off, and then what happens after that?" I was like, "That never happened. I mean, what do you mean usually?" So you said that this might happen. How is that? How was the case in Philippines? Is it just like boom and no electricity, or they give you heads up?
No, they don't give us a heads up. So the set. So I'm also left, just curious when it's gonna end or when it's gonna turn off. Yeah, but the Philippines unfortunately has one of the most expensive internet connections, and
Ooh.
it also has the slowest.
Ooh.
That's why, yeah, I guess it's also difficult to set up a reliable internet connection because we're an archipelago. So for those of you guys who don't know, Philippines is the second largest archipelago in the world. So we have
After,
more
which one is the
after
first one?
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Okay.
Indonesia. Yep. So Philippines has more than 7,500 islands and 5,000 still remain unnamed. So imagine setting up an internet connection with islands separate from each other. So it's hard. That's why it's expensive and slow. Also, the same reason with electricity. It's so hard to set up an electricity with different islands all scattered, you
Mm,
know, all over
mm.
with water in between them. It's difficult. That is why I asked you.
So where do you live exactly?
I live in Region 5. It's called Bicol region, and it's really famous for Mayon volcano. So, for those who don't know, Mayon volcano is only the most beautiful volcano in the world. It's
Oh,
perfectly cone shaped and it's very active.
oh, so wait, is that a thing? So you didn't just make this up, and say the best looking volcano because you live there, but it's actually the best
Yep.
looking Yeah, is it?
Yes, it
Ah.
is one of the eight wonders of the world for a reason. It's the only perfectly cone shaped volcano in the world.
Whoa. All right.
Am I am
Boom.
I
Another
am I encouraging
curiosity.
tourists now?
You're striking
Yes.
us. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Woo. I'm getting so hot in here. I don't know how to continue.
That's
Okay.
just the start.
So yeah. So let's talk about these islands just for a second. So you said about five
Sure.
thousand remain unnamed. Does that also mean
Yep.
that they're inhabited or
That,
no?
that doesn't mean that doesn't mean they're uninhabited. I mean, I do. Philippines is also filled with people who have caught up with the times, with the civilization, and also those who are what we call indigenous. I think other countries have indigenous people also. So we still have those, and we try our best to preserve them because through them we would know where our history is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, it doesn't mean that it's uninhabited. I'm sure they are, but most likely by indigenous people rather than people who have caught up with the times. Because if they're like me and you, they'd be looking for internet. They'll be looking for electricity,
Hmm.
but they don't. Yeah.
So do you think these people are friendly? Like they're open to welcome people, to introduce them to their traditions, or they're like, no, 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 this is our close community. Stay out.
No, they're very friendly.
Are they?
So, one good thing about the Philippines, it's known to be the smiling country of Asia. It's called the happiest country in Asia for a reason. So, when tourists come here, they really like it here because people can speak in English. People are very hospitable. People are always ready to tell their stories. So, the reason why foreigners have came in the Philippines, it's because our people from before were always very welcoming. So yes, these indigenous people do not, barricade themselves. They're very open. In fact, they welcome tourists to their places.
Hmm. All right. Good to
Yeah.
know. So if I end up in one of these islands, I won't be afraid. To be
No, they're
to be
very nice.
to be fair, I have a friend here in London. He's from Cebu.
Oh, really? A Bisaya. Yeah, that's one of the most successful cities here in the Philippines. One of the major cities.
Successful. When you say successful, would you say that years ago Philippines weren't, in a good shape, but then now are picking up, and Cebu is one of the cities that are going up?
Yep, yep, exactly. It's where one of the trade and commerce hubs, in the Philippines.
Okay. Would you say it's one of the places that you must see?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot to see in Cebu and a lot of people, food also, and culture, especially their festival.
Oh
They
my
have
god.
like what's
Yeah.
that? The Mardi Gras festival where you have the faces? Is that Mardi Gras? I forgot, but they have something similar to that to venerate a saint, Santo Niño.
Okay. Oh wow. I'm so I just wanted to dive now into what to see, but we promised to go with food. The reason I brought my friend, his name is Jeff. Jeff from
Mhm.
Cebu. He went back to Philippines and he came back. He's like, "Hey, Pavel, come here. I brought you some sweets from Cebu." So we sat down.
Yes.
Actually, we actually recorded some video. We recorded a video, but he decided not to use it because he's kind of a perfectionist. Like there was a grass. Somebody was mowing his grass in the next door, and there were planes coming up. Like, oh, this noise is horrible. I cannot use this video. I was like, just post it. Don't worry. But anyway,
Oh.
wh- what um, what struck me is that all the sweets are super sweet. Like
Oh yeah.
they're sweet, and they add like two layers on top of that extra sugar. I'm like, oh, every time, because he brought like five, six, seven pieces, different sweets. He's like, okay, let's try this one. What do you think? I was like,
It's sweet.
um, it's very sweet. Let's try the other one. Okay, what do you think about this one? I was like, man, this is even sweeter. Like, how do you, and he's like, yeah, yeah, I know. And he looked very happy, like, yeah, 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 very sweet. And me, I usually don't eat much sweet. And I think he was a bit disappointed. He was like, oh, what do you think about this one? I'm like, it's still very sweet.
That's sweet again.
But it's
Yeah.
really normal for him. But
Yep.
is that just in whole Philippines? What are you eating? Now let's directly, officially jump into the food
Hmm.
subject. What do you eat there in Philippines?
Okay, so here in the Philippines, let me share that our, how do you call it? The national food of the Philippines, it's called adobo. It's one of the most popular food dishes, and it's considered by many unofficially as the national dish. It consists of pork or chicken. You can cook it with pork or chicken. Sometimes broth, sometimes both, sorry. Stewed or braised in a sauce made with vinegar, coconut oil, garlic, bay leaf, peppercorns, and soy sauce. So that one doesn't sound very sweet, right? But some people would put sugar in it just to make it sweet. So imagine a food like chicken
Yeah.
or pork, you put soy sauce and then you put sugar.
So you put
Philippines,
sugar not only on your sweets but on your main dishes as well.
yep. Our spaghetti, so spaghetti is Italian, right? So it's
Yes.
not supposed to be sweet. Our spaghetti is sweet. So has a Philippines is a different level of sweetness in terms of food and people.
Well
Yeah.
said. So where is all this sugar coming from? Why are you adding it to everything?
I think it's already in the taste bud of the Filipinos, and also because we have a place here that actually produces sugar. It's in a place called Negros Occidental, if I'm not mistaken. They're the sugar capital of the Philippines. So if you're growing a certain kind of crop, might as well consume it, because it's more expensive to import, right?
Ah.
Yep. So what else do we eat here? Okay, so I've told you about the duck egg, the national dish. There's also what we call sinigang. This one is a little bit sour. It's also cooked with pork. It's also one of the best dishes in the Philippines. It's best eaten during the cold season because it's soupy,
Uh-huh.
what we call sinigang. Yep. And then we also have the famous lechon. So it's pig. So what do you call? I don't know how you cook the lechon, but it's you put the pig in a stick and then
Yeah.
you roll it on
Uh-huh.
fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's like that. It's super nice, and the best ones are from Cebu. So your friend
Ah,
must know about
he
this
should have brought me some
lechon.
pig instead of the sweets.
Yes, but it would have spoiled on the way to
Yeah,
London.
okay, makes sense. So which part of the
Yeah.
I suppose you eat the whole pig, right?
Yes, you eat the whole
Mm-hmm.
pig. Yep. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's like here in the Philippines, when you're celebrating something and you have lechon, it means it's a big celebration. It's
Like
really
what? Like
something.
wedding.
Wedding, birthday, anniversary, when you serve lechon, it's considered to be like a grand setup because you have
Ah.
lechon. People will be like, "Oh my god, they have lechon." And then people will just run there, heart
So
disease or not, they keep on eating.
so it's definitely not a meal that you eat, on the daily basis. You just have it for celebration.
Mm, yes, generally, yes. Because people have already started serving lechon on a meal pack, but it's not as good as the one you actually cook with the fire and the big bamboo stick. It's still generally known to be a food for festivals and celebrations.
I see. I see. Okay. I
Yep.
just figured out something that I don't need to what I can do is I just share my screen. This is crazy. I can share my screen and just show the fertilized bird eggs.
Yes.
This is crazy.
You eat that. It's yummy. And I have a fact there. I have a curious fact for the
Another
duck
one.
egg.
Oh my goodness, shoot.
Yes. That one is only sold at night. You know why?
What's that?
That balut is usually just sold after 4 p.m. So and then going the night. They don't sell it in the morning
Why is that?
because so that people don't see what's inside.
Huh?
I swear.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You mean by
So
people,
this
you mean tourists, right?
tourists and Filipinos themselves, because Filipinos really love balot.
But
They they they
you
eat it as snack.
okay, but you say they eat it without knowing what's inside as well.
No, they it's being sold in the evening so
Yeah.
that people don't see what's
Okay,
inside.
so
They
they
don't see the
know they
hair.
know what's inside, but they just don't want to see it.
Yes, that's why it's sold
Ah,
at night.
oh my goodness. Okay.
So please eat it. It's so yummy. You can eat it with vinegar. You can put vinegar, chili, or salt.
What about sugar?
No, that is no. It doesn't go well with it. Imagine
No.
eating a bird with sugar. Ugh.
Imagine eating spaghetti with sugar. I mean, you won't be surprised. Maybe you should try it. Maybe it will work.
Yeah, maybe it will work. We have that spaghetti with sugar. Yes.
Yeah, no, you told me. That's what I'm referring to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
We touched the food. What about the drink? Do you have a national drink or what do you usually drink there?
We don't have a national drink, but the Philippines, being a tropical country, it's
Mm-hmm.
filled with coconuts. So what's good in the Philippines is when you get the coconut juice straight from the coconut.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
song is playing in my
yes.
head. You know that song, the
Keep talking.
coconut
Keep
nut.
talking to me.
So yeah, that's what we usually. If I would think of a national juice, I would think of coconut. It grows everywhere here. The temperature is just perfect for it.
Ah, I love it. I've
Yeah.
been to when I was in Bali. One of the best things is just grab a coconut, and then they cut it in front of you, like bam, bam, bam. So
Yes.
amazing. And then what I used to do is I go back to them like, hey, can you just cut it for me? And then I eat the coconut.
Yes. The white
Fabulous.
one, right?
Yes,
You just
yes,
eat it raw.
yes.
Ah,
Amazing. Okay. Whew. Let me
amazing.
let me clear my mouth for a bit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, the reason I ask you about a national drink is because when Jeff came to my house and gave
hmm
me these sweets, I was like, okay, while you're here, you gave me some from the Philippines. Let's wash it up with a traditional drink from Bulgaria. So what we have there is a spirit that you can make it at your home or you can buy from the shop. Of
hmm
course, homemade is much better, and it's about
Good.
40 degrees strong. And he was like, "Ooh, ooh," it shocked him a bit. It was a bit strong for him. So I would assume you don't have that kind of thing, like a strong drink that you usually consume.
A strong drink. We have um I I think it's also made of coconut. They made an alcohol out of coconut. It's called oh damn, I forgot what it's called. I should Google that. Coconut alcohol. And then people would usually consume it's really strong. It's called lambanog. Yes. So we call it lambanog. So it's also made of coconut, but they made alcohol. It's so strong. It's stronger than the normal beer. Our
Well,
grandfathers would usually have that.
okay. Well, normal beer is not super strong in general, is it?
Oh yeah, well yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's 7%, right?
Yeah, yeah, or some. I don't know.
You're
Depends on the
exposing
beer.
the non-drinker in me.
De-
I'm not. I don't drink that much. That's why.
it depends on the beer. Some beers are 4% as well. But anyway, because you said it's
Yeah.
so strong, it's even stronger than a beer. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's mildly strong for Pavel.
So have you tried this one?
No, not yet. I'm scared of it. That's
Why?
how strong it is. I don't know. I because when my dad works for a beer company, right? And
Yeah,
for him to say that lambanog is strong, I'm scared of it because if beer is strong for me already, how much more a lambanog?
I
So I
see.
haven't tried it.
I see.
Mhm.
In the Philippines, you don't consume much alcohol in general. The locals, are they?
Beer is usually consumed during celebrations. It's not
Mm.
an everyday drink. Maybe unlike Germany, where during lunch they grab a beer and
Hmm.
I drink it with their food. No, it's not like that here. In general, people drink beer when there's something to celebrate about.
I see.
Yep.
Okay. So you eat it with you have it with your pork.
Yes, you have it with your pork or your peanut. Yep, that's lambanog for you. Looks
Lambanog.
pretty, right?
Okay,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
deceiving. My God.
I'm actually, interested, curious to try this one. All right. Um, let's move on then. We figure out the drinks. I would assume people don't drink much alcohol because it's super hot usually. What's the weather in the Philippines and what's the best time to visit?
Okay, so the Philippines has two weathers. It's summer from March to August, and it's usually rainy from September all the way to February. So the best time to come to the Philippines is during summer because what we have here are islands and beaches, really crystal clear water. So, and it's also advisable to wear and bring cotton clothes. Wear your spaghetti strap, your t-shirt and your shorts, your slippers. Yeah, that's the Philippines. So best time is between March to August because it's summer.
Okay, March to August. But
Yep.
that's a high peak anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. So
So,
we're talking about a temperature of between 27 to 35 degrees Celsius.
mhm.
That's a normal temperature in the Philippines. Sometimes it would go up to 40 on a really, really hot day.
Okay. Okay. But what I mean by peak is that there is a peak of the season. So shall we just come early March and then maybe in September? Would that be okay? So we can avoid even
Um,
the crowds if possible.
um, I would still advise you to come to the Philippines on those months. Yeah, early March is okay.
Yeah.
The peak really is April because it's Holy Week, so everybody's out. The tourist destinations are full. So yeah, March would be a good idea because it's just starting.
Okay.
Starting. So hotel reservations isn't that hard yet.
Mm-hmm. All right. Perfect. So what is it then to before that actually, how are the prices?
Oh, okay. So here in the Philippines, in terms of say food, let's just okay. I have a friend who told me that for you to measure if prices in a country is expensive or not, use a beer to peg. So if beer in this country is expensive, it means generally it's expensive there. So here in the Philippines, a bottle of beer would cost you 50 cents
Hmm.
in US dollars.
That's a fair
US
price.
dollars. Yep. And in terms of food, cheap ones are about $1. That's 50 pesos because the conversion is $1 is to 50 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
Average is about $4 to $8. An expensive food would be $8 and above. So you're already talking about, 3 to 4 star restaurant here.
$8 is that for one person? $8 meal.
Yes, that's for one
Okay.
person.
How much the whole
But
pig
generally,
costs?
oh, the whole pig around 5,000 to 6,000 pesos. That would be around $120.
Okay. So if you're
That's generally cheap. Yeah. If you're
six
coming
six
from the
people.
West and
Mm-hmm.
then you're coming here, food is cheap. Accommodation is cheap. If you're coming from, if you're from the US, London, even from Japan, Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
if you're coming from the first world country, definitely Philippines is very affordable.
All right. Oh my god, so many questions are coming to my mind. So
Go,
you said
go ahead. Shoot.
okay, I want to ask you about the transportation, how you move in between. But before that, because you said
Mhm.
food is cheap, accommodation is cheap, is there something that is more expensive? One and two. What was two? And two, do I need to exchange money or with dollars or pounds? I'll be okay.
Um, what do you mean? Exchange money here? Like when you come here, that's when you exchange?
Yeah, if I have only dollars in me, do I need to exchange them or I can pay with the
Oh
dollars?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, you can't. So if you have US dollars with you, definitely change it to Philippine peso. So
Ah.
I advise you to change your money when you arrive in the Philippines.
Okay.
And you can't exchange pounds directly to peso. You have to change your pounds to US dollars and then US dollars
Ah.
to Philippines. They will only accept that kind of, conversion.
So maybe exchange pounds to dollars here, and then I come to the Philippines exchange
Dollar to
dollars to
peso.
pesos. I see.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. So is there
you
something that
got
is
it.
a bit more expensive there, or in general it's cheap?
I think general it's
In
cheap.
general, it's cheap.
In
Okay.
general, it's cheap. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Good to hear. That's good news. um, how about transportation? So from airport to your location, and also, but the reason I'm asking this is because when I went to Bali, we had a driver who was driving us all day. So you just pay all day, and then the driver is always with you. Is that the same with the Philippines? And also because there's so many islands, how is it
Mm-hmm.
working?
Okay, so when you are traveling from island to island, it's usually either a boat if it's if the two islands are near each other, there's a boat. But if the island is far from one another, it's just the plane. But
Ah.
within say in Manila, when you land in Manila, the best way to travel is through Grab. It's like Uber here in the Philippines because I do not advise tourists to use the jeepney, what we're known for, the MRT, or the tricycle, especially when they're not familiar or if they don't have a Filipino with them. Because, some might take advantage and, jack up the price. So I would advise if you want to take an adventure and use the transportation that the Filipinos use, I advise you to have a Filipino companion. Is it hard to use the MRT and to use the jeepney? No, but it can be hard because it's hot. It's very hot here. 40 degrees, it consumes you. So that's the hard part. But if you're patient and if you are fond of, seeing a lot of things happening while you're riding the jeepney, then I guess it's a good option. But for
Well,
you, for example, you, Pavel, when you come here, I would advise you to go get a Grab and then just stay. Similar to your setup in Bali.
so hold on. So Grab, no MRT. MRT is basically the
Train.
train, isn't it?
Yes, that one.
Okay. So you say don't use the MRT, or did I hear correct?
Yeah, I do not advise it if you don't have a Filipino companion with you because you don't know what station to go to and it's not on time.
Is
It's
it?
not like Japan where it's not. It's not on time. You
Okay,
don't
but
even know when the MRT is arriving.
you don't even know what?
I swear. You don't know when the MRT is arriving. So for example, I'm in station A
Yeah,
and then I would want to ride to station F, for
yeah.
example. So I go to station A and wait. There's no clock that tells you the train is arriving in 30 seconds. Nope. There's nothing. You just wait. And then if there's a train, you squeeze yourself in if you
I
can.
see.
And
Okay,
then you go to
so
station.
public transportation, I mean, especially the trains, is not the best thing because in London, I mean, now that you tell me, like, probably it will be difficult for you. Like coming from London, where it's not lines all the
Yeah.
place. But even Americans, when they come to London, it was like, oh, what I like here is that you see when your next train arrives, because even in USA, they
Oh,
don't have this. They don't know when the train is gonna come.
yep.
So try your suggestion is try to avoid the MRT, which is the train. What about this Jeep Me? Is that a
Oh, that's iconic. So Philippines is known for that. So jeepneys, the
yeah?
origin of that is they were used before by the Americans. So we were colonized by the US. That's why Philippines is a good English speaking country. We were colonized by the US and they used those during the war. And then for some reason, when they left and gave us our independence, they left that. And the Filipinos, being, creative people, started decorating it and made it a mass transportation. It could carry around 6 to 12 pre pandemic. Post pandemic, it can only carry six.
Okay.
And see how fancy it is?
Yeah, it is.
It has an honesty system. Like if you pay, you just ask somebody to especially if you're seated to all the way to the back, you just ask somebody to
Pass
give
the
your
money.
money to the driver. Yeah,
Okay.
and Filipinos are so skillful. The driver could, while driving, could look for a passenger, count your money, get your change, pass it back to you all at the same time. I swear they can do that. While they're driving, look at the road, look if there's a potential passenger, count your money, get the change, give it back to you. So
Okay.
skillful. I don't know
So,
how they do it.
so I would assume this form of transportation doesn't have any stops. It just drives around, has A, B, and then just passes. And then if you want to jump in, you just raise your hand. Is that the way?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't have like I stop in this station, this station. Nope. You just say para. That's how we say I'm going down. Para. So when you say para, it just moves suddenly on the side and then drop you off.
So like you need to
That's
say it. So when you say it and then it's straight, that's happening at the moment.
Yeah, as long as the driver's not gonna smack on another car, another person. If there's a space, yeah, they
Uh
would
huh.
stop for you. Yeah, that's why Filipinos are such good drivers because they can do that.
So is it You
like
know,
the
when I
driver.
was in Bali, it was like vroom, 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 everywhere. Like it was madness. You know, people were driving from everywhere. You wouldn't really safe even on the sidewalk. You know, because when they come with their motorbikes, you know, to avoid the traffic, they go on the sidewalks and then jump. It was crazy there. Is it crazy as well in the Philippines when it comes to
Yeah.
traffic? Yes.
Yes, it's something like it's also like that. People would be riding their motorbikes and their bicycles on the walkway. It's normal here. We have the worst traffic in the world, one of the worst.
One
That
of
is
the worst.
why.
Ah,
Yes, we have one
okay.
of the worst traffic
Good to
because
know.
owning a
Not
car here is so easy.
not a rank that you can be happy with, but what can we do? Okay, you
Yeah.
said when you want to stop, you say para. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Can you tell us a few more words like hello, thank you, how much, or something?
Okay, so when you say thank you, it's salamat po.
Say again. Salama?
Salamat,
S-
salamat. It's with a T.
Salamat?
Salamat is thank you. Po is what we attach to sentences we say to connote respect. So when you're talking to an elder or when you're talking to a child, and if you want to teach respect, you
Hmm.
say po or opo. It usually means opo means yes, po is a shortened version of it. Salamat. And when you want to say hi, it's generally just hi here, but the main greeting would be mabuhay. That's why when you mabuhay, that's what they usually do when they say it. In Philippine Airlines, it's the flagship. It's the how do you call it? The main airline of the Philippines. When you ride it, it would say mabuhay. Welcome to Philippine Airlines. Like that.
So, but do I need to say it as how we do with the hand gesture, like mabuha?
You can if you want to be funny. But generally, it's just hi.
No, because I'm wondering why did you did because you said mabuha 3 times and all 3 times you did the hand mabuha.
It makes it all very exciting to see. Mabuhay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically, what you did, you're just making a circle and then showing you on the side. Mabuha.
Yeah, yep. That's why, do you watch Miss Universe, Pavel?
No, never.
Okay, so the Philippine representative would always say that mabuhay, and then they would say the name. I am Catriona Gray from the Philippines. Like that.
Ah.
Who, by the way, is the 2018 Miss Universe.
Oh, so you had a
Philip
F- Miss Universe from the Philippines. Oh.
Yeah, for some reason Philippines is so good with sending representatives in Miss Universe.
It's so good.
Yeah, we're good. That if you ask me what's the main strength of the Philippines, I would answer sending Miss Universe representatives.
Okay. Okay. Well, salamat. In that sense, when you said that you're good at sending representatives, it made me curious. Is there any national sport that you are more keen on?
Yes. So people here watch a lot of basketball and of course boxing because Manny Pacquiao,
Yes.
the one of the best boxers in the world. Yeah, he's from the Philippines.
Is she still
And
boxing?
when no, he's currently a senator.
Oh, he
He's
he
a
took
senator
the
there.
Schwarzenegger road.
Oh yeah. But you know what? When Manny Pacquiao has a fight,
Yeah,
I was told there's zero crime rate in the Philippines
because
because
everybody's watching.
everybody's just yeah. So if you don't want crime, just do a Manny Pacquiao fight. It's
That
crazy.
is.
I don't know.
Oh my god, that is so curious. But I remember he was fighting. Well, who was he fighting? Was it Floyd Mayweather? His biggest match,
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
lost, but
that was
like
yeah,
the majority of the world was for
yeah,
money. Yeah. Oh.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he knows why he lost. I don't know if that was that fight where he said he thought he was gonna win. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, I remember that fight. I watched it also. I don't know why he lost that fight because Mayweather was just on defense. You know,
Yeah.
he wasn't fighting; he was just defending. But you know, if I was if I was Floyd, perhaps I'd do the same. Keep my belt and just do a defense.
Wow. You sound
But
like
I don't know
you.
much of.
I
But
was
no,
just.
I
You
don't know
don't know
much.
much. I was just going to say you sound like you know.
I know. No, I don't know much.
Okay. The next two things I want to cover is one, the culture, if you have any traditions. But before that, let's talk about some places that we may see, visit, experience. Where if I
Okay.
come and I call you, hey, Mero, can you show me around? Like, what would you show me?
Okay, so the Philippines is being a tropical country. It's really known for beaches, surfing. So, what would if you call me right now and ask me where I'd take you? One, I'd take you to Palawan. It was I don't know if for 2020, but it's always definitely in the ranks as one of the best islands in the world. Crystal clear
Mm.
beaches, white sand. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so this is
That's
very, very,
Palawan.
very, very popular.
It is very popular. Like I wouldn't advise any tourist to come to the Philippines and leave without traveling to Palawan.
Okay, is it?
Yep.
Is it? Can you go with a boat or you need to take a plane?
You need to take a plane.
Okay. Do you
From
need to book?
Manila, so what
Do you need to book in
yeah, from
advance?
an yep. I would advise you to book in advance because that place is because people know that it's a really good island. So that's always the top of mind. I would suggest yes, booking in advance. So that's
Okay.
the Maldives in the Philippines.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this island.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what else? So you say take a
So
plane.
one is
Take a plane. Yeah.
yeah, so one is Palawan. The other one would be of course Bicol, where Mayon is. That's where I live now in the province.
Okay. How do you call it? Bicol.
Yeah, it's Bicol.
Okay.
That's where
That's
Mayon
where the
volcano
volcano
is.
is.
Yes.
Okay. So you would say visit
So
this place because of the volcano.
yes, because aside from, the view of the volcano, you could do a lot of things. You can do ATV, you could also do food adventure. You could also do zip lining with the Mayon in the background. Oh, it's so nice. And there was once a company, I think they're from Cebu. They came here and did a free dive or skydive where you have to jump off the plane with Mayon in as the view.
Wow.
So it was so nice. Yep, that's a volcano.
I remember you said this volcano really looks amazing, indeed.
It does.
And I remember
Yep.
you said that it's still active, isn't it?
Yeah, it was on alert level 2 last week.
Last week.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, Mayon is erupting." Oh, really? Okay.
So it's
The
so
locals are
the
used to it.
locals are so used to it, like, oh, okay, no problem.
They're used to it for a good reason because Bicolanos are prepared. So they know what to do when the volcano is on alert signal. They know what to do when there is a typhoon coming in because Bicol is always struck by a typhoon for some reason. So people here are ready. We rarely have deaths when these calamities come.
So what do you do when the volcano erupts?
So basically, what they do is to study the volcano first. How strong is it? So depending on how strong is it, they will start evacuating people near the foot of the volcano. So if it's strong, they'd evacuate people from this. If it's not that strong, they'd evacuate people that are just
Hmm.
near it.
Okay.
Because it's dangerous if you inhale the ash.
Yeah.
It's what you want to avoid. Because the lava is um it's predictable. We know where it's gonna go.
Okay.
That's why.
I see.
It's the ash that you don't know. Because if it erupts, it's all over the place.
So do you guys have a bag that is packed and ready to go, or?
Ideally, yes, but no.
So
But
is it
we
just
would know. we would know if the volcano is gonna erupt because we will have an earthquake first. So if there's an earthquake, we'd be like, oh, Mayon is gonna erupt anytime soon. So pack your bag.
Yeah, but
If it's
yeah,
but
but
no.
anytime soon will mean like really soon, right? What if you're at work?
Oh yeah, yeah. I get your point, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Maybe after this
no, we
talk,
don't have.
you'll consider having a bag just in case, with some
Definitely, I would
essentials.
start
Definitely.
to pack my camera and then just that's it.
You sound like a true videographer now.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
just
okay, okay.
starting.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. I'm learning so much. Okay. What is the actually main source of people making a living?
Oh, okay. So the Philippines is an agricultural country. So
Hmm.
people plant things. So rice, so we're very, very known for rice. It's not a meal in the Philippines if it doesn't have rice in it. So
Okay.
we eat rice 3 times a day, sometimes more than that. So yeah, Philippines is an agricultural country. We plant rice, sugar, corn,
Sugar.
a lot of things. Yeah, sugar should be there. And tourism is also a main source of income.
All right.
Yes,
Because when
that's right.
I think the rice thing is kind of a Asian thing. Like even Bali, it's when I went to Bali, it's kind of a touristy thing to visit a rice field.
Yes,
And the
we also
Westerners
have
are
that
so
here.
fascinated by it. Like, oh, look at all these, like terraces. Like, oh, it's so amazing. So I just want to make sure that the Philippines is the same. But,
Yep,
yeah.
we have that. And here in the Philippines, when you visit that place, we have a national artist there that does tattoos. But it's not the tattoo that's, the ink and the fancy
Hmm.
one where there's a machine. No, they use a wood and then a nail on the end, and that's what they use to like make your tattoo.
Wait, hold on.
She's
A
yeah,
nail,
she's called Wang. Yeah, a nail.
like an actual
I
nail.
Yeah, but of course they sanitize it. I don't know. Maybe it's not the metal nail. Maybe it's like a thorn or something.
Okay.
But it's not the one that artists use now where it's a machine. No, she's called Wang Od. I from if I'm not mistaken, she's called Wang Od. Are you searching it now? Can you
Um,
find it? I don't know how
no,
it's spelled. That's
I'm looking for Philippines tattoo nail. That's what I'm looking for.
oh, look for Philippines tattoo national artist. See what comes up. She's an old woman, but she's a national artist in the Philippines because she's known to give those indigenous tattoos.
Is this
Yes, that's her.
so? That's the only woman that does this. You say?
Uh, it was once her whole clan or whole tribe, but I think she's the only one remaining now. That's why
Wow.
we're trying to preserve her. Please don't die. Please don't die. I don't know if she has passed on the tradition. I don't
I
know,
see.
but yep,
So what? So she
that's her.
uses a nail, and with the wood, she presses the nail on your skin, and that's how she does the tattoo.
Yes.
Wow, that is
You have
next level.
tattoos, Pavel?
I have one. It says "Do more."
Oh, oh, I love that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's I set
Maybe
it
if,
as a reminder here on my hand so I can see it.
yeah. I think that's a good tattoo.
Thanks. Thanks. Okay, perfect. Wow, this is a very interesting talk. Where can we? By the way, this lady is about 97 years old now, or 98.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we see her?
So I think she's in Benguet. It's a place called Benguet.
Benguet.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's in the Philippines where the rice fields are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in Kalinga, Philippines. So it's I don't know how many hours, maybe 6 hours drive from Manila. You could go there with a van. And there are a lot of tour packages that that include that place
Mm-hmm.
because it's already known here in the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
It's about 6 to 7 hours land
She,
trip from Manila.
she's very famous.
She is very famous. Yep.
And she's very good, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. She
Like, if
doesn't. She
look at
doesn't
this.
do those tattoos. So you show her the photo and she do it. I don't think that's her work.
Yeah, I don't know. It shows up here.
it's
Yeah, probably not. Maybe you're right.
her work would be. I think how she does her tattoo is she would try to read you, and then depending on what she sees, she will tattoo a certain symbol on you, depending on what she sees.
I see.
That's what makes
Okay,
her
so it's kind of a
fascinating.
surprise
Yeah.
tattoo.
Yeah, you don't know what she's gonna make.
What if she makes a fertilized duck egg? The-
I don't think she can make it.
no.
I
Okay.
would laugh so hard if I'm gonna make an egg for you, Meryl. You're an egg. We're like, okay.
Oh, but I thought she doesn't say that to you. She just makes it, and they're like, "Oh, surprise!"
Oh no, I was kidding.
Have you met her? You haven't.
No, I haven't. It has always been one of my things I would wanna do, but
All right.
adulting happened.
Why not? Is she too far?
Yeah, she's a bit far. I mean, you really have to schedule it, and you're not sure if she's gonna show
Accept you.
up because she's old. Yeah.
Hmm. I see. I see. Okay. Oh well. I think the only things that are left now are some curiosities about Philippines and some
Okay.
stories you would like to share about you and the Philippines in general. Oh, before that, sorry. Anything about the culture? Is there anything we should be aware of not to do this when we go there, or you should definitely join this festival? It's great fun.
Mm, in terms of festivals, there are a lot in the Philippines. It's just a matter of no. For example, if you're gonna come in January, definitely you have to check out the Sinulog Festival in Cebu.
Sinulung,
It's the Sinulog
sinulong. Okay.
Sinulog Festival. It's from Cebu, where your friend Jeff is
Uh
from.
huh.
That usually happens in January. It's a huge, huge festival here. People party on the streets. People invite you in their houses, even if they don't know you. That's
Okay.
one thing about.
Ooh.
Yep.
Even didn't know.
It's
It's basically like Rio's festival in a way. Colorful
yes,
costumes, people on the streets.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the government spends for that a lot of money because
Ah.
it's a tourist attraction also.
Yeah.
See, it's so nice.
Yeah, very colorful. Like a lot of costumes, colorful, dancing on the streets. How long is that
Yep.
for?
It happens for a week from what I know. I haven't been there. Shame on me. But yeah,
Meryl,
it
have you
happens for a
realized
week.
that
I
you're
know.
talking to me about this country and you're saying you should do this and this and this and this and this and you haven't done it? I
Yeah.
think you should have a
How
list.
shame.
I think you should have a list, and then once things clear up a bit with this situation, you should start checking those, putting those marks
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because I've been what one thing I realized is before the pandemic, I'd usually make a list and it would be always other countries like
Hmm.
London, Singapore,
Yes.
Japan, but I haven't really explored my own.
Yes.
Now that,
Yes.
the pandemic is here, international borders are closed, it's a really good opportunity to, explore my own country.
Yes. Meryl, that's a big thing because I was the same. I did this with Bulgaria, and now every time I go back to Bulgaria, I not only see my family, but I spares few days, 3, 4, 5 days to see other places because
Yeah.
it's a human thing. The grass is
Mm-hmm.
always greener on the other side of the fence. That's with the
I
that
agree.
that's with traveling. The same with traveling because that's why I started having a YouTube channel because I saw people living in London and
Mm-hmm.
they go to work and they go home. They go to work, they go home. That's the whole week. And then on Saturday they go out, or Friday they go out, they get wasted, and then the next day, half day, they're sleeping. And then 2 months from that, they book a trip to Paris or to Amsterdam or to Spain to see the sun. But they don't realize, if you think about it, you know, you're from the Philippines or someone from Japan or someone from
Mm-hmm.
USA, they will pay the
Mm-hmm.
flight, they will pay the accommodation just to come to London. And the other people that are living in London, they're already living here. They're
I
living here. So
know.
why not do some
Yes.
sightseeings? Why not? Why
Yes.
don't learn something? So
Right?
that's why I started doing YouTube videos. Yes, that's why I started doing
Mm-hmm.
YouTube videos to try and wake up people that are locals. And I'm actually really happy because I haven't massively succeeded, but I'm succeeding now. As I say, 1% at a time. Like
Yeah.
I will always give this example. I met a person who was born here in London, but
Mm-hmm.
he never visited any sightseeing. He never. He just like, oh, I'm from London. Like, yeah, why do you need to? But I show him where the Buckingham Palace is. He never visited Buckingham Palace. Would you believe it?
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I know,
What?
right?
That's the first thing I would visit if I'm in London.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big thing, but how can you not visit it, especially when you live there?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just walk
Yeah.
outside at least, check it out. But yeah,
Yep.
definitely for everybody who's watching and listening, wherever you're living, there is something to see and do. Definitely just open your eyes and do it because there are a lot like people living like in this example, people are living in London, and London is so cosmopolitan and people are changing all the time. And then you
Mm-hmm.
may not like it or whatever it is. And at some stage, maybe you move out somewhere, and then you'll be like, oh man, I was so close to these
Mm-hmm.
places. Like Cambridge is a really nice city. It's really close to London. Stonehenge is
Yep.
here. I haven't been there, but
Yep.
I'm not excited to go there. To be fair, it's just a bunch of rocks
Stones.
to me. Yeah, but people are coming here to visit these things, and you are still here. And then the situation will change. You will go away, and they're like, "Oh man, I was so close. Why I didn't visit it?"
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely look around. Make a list. That
Mm-hmm.
goes for you, Mary, as well. Make a list.
Yeah. Reminder for me. And I think it's also a simple way to, it's a very, very indirect, simple way of helping your country. Because when you know something about your country and you talk about it, people get so excited. And
Yep.
though you might not convince them now, it would always be in their head that, yeah, hey, maybe I should visit the Philippines one of these days, maybe in
Mhm.
summer. So you're helping your country's tourism a bit.
Yep, exactly.
Takes
That's
one
how I would
person
like
at
to
a
think
time.
about myself as well. I'm
Hmm.
not in Bulgaria helping inside, I'm from Bulgaria helping outside. I'm trying to,
Yes.
one, send people there, and two, just familiarize people with Bulgaria because it's not a very common thing. People
Hmm.
don't know much about this country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But when they go there, they're pleasantly surprised. They're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you guys are so nice. Oh my god, I didn't know I have such nice yogurt. Oh my god, your cheese is so. Oh my god, you have roses. Oh, so many roses, rose oil. Oh my god." But yeah,
Really? Bulgaria has oil and rose oil.
yes. So we have
Oh,
rose
okay.
fields, big rose fields, and we do rose oil from them. I mean, not to eat, not to
Oh.
eat with it, but it's more
Yeah, but
like
to apply,
cosmetic. Yes,
yeah.
yes, more like a cosmetic
Ah,
thing.
okay. I see. I got it.
Yeah.
I bet it's so fun to celebrate Valentine's Day there because guys would just pick up a rose, you know, give it to the girlfriend. Pick a rose. Here, it's so hard. If you want to give roses, you gotta spend.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Prices go up. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
They they are clever marketers there. Um. Okay. So
Curious
any
things
yes, curious things
about
and
the
stories
Philippines.
about you.
Um, about the Philippines or about maybe I'll start with the Philippines first. So Philippines is a singing country, right?
What
Like
did you
have you
say?
met a Filipino
Singing?
singing? Yeah, like singing.
They like to sing. Oh my god.
Singing.
It's
Yeah.
so funny that you say that. This guy Jeff,
Why?
he keeps singing on his Instagram. And I'm like,
See?
yes, he keeps singing on his and I thought it's just him. And I'm like, oh, and then the other day he posted like a story, like him and holding a mug, like a coffee. And I'm like, why are you not singing in this story? And he said, no, 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 no. When are you going to post something singing? I was like, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. And he
Look at
and now
you.
he's stalking me. Come on, man, when are you gonna post this singing story? Come on, sing, sing, sing. I was like, I'm not going to sing. Come on.
I think you
So
should sing, Pavel. I think you
it,
have a good voice. You're just
nah,
not trying.
nah, I don't think so.
I
I can sing, but you don't want to hear it. That's the thing. So
understand it.
so
Same.
you so you are a singing country.
Yes. So Philippines is so I challenge you to find a Filipino who doesn't sing. So you would rarely find a Filipino who doesn't hum, who doesn't sing, because it's how Filipinos are. You know, part of being a happy country is
Mm-hmm.
always being enthusiastic about music, festivals, and it's part of who we are. In fact, here in the Philippines, when you come and visit, when there's a celebration, there would always be a karaoke there. So karaoke, originated from Japan, but it was patented by this Filipino, and then it started to become the karaoke sing along system. So people would just sing. It's so hard to get a mic from a Filipino. People would just sing. Remember
Okay.
our class with Lisha when she was talking about music? I was like, oh, the highs and the lows, and she was like, oh, that's a Filipino in you. That's a Filipino in
I
you.
see.
Yeah,
Okay, so
people sing here.
I think we're shaping up a bit the culture. So on the big celebrations, you have karaoke and a big,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're fitting the puzzle little by little, piece by piece. Okay, but I
Yes.
was just going to say that when you say humming, like singing or something, and that directly jumped into my mind as one of the happy countries. So you wouldn't see someone who is humming or quietly singing to himself to be grumpy or sad, because they are
You,
all related, these things.
Um, sometimes Filipinos, when they're grumpy and sad,
Really?
they would also try to express it in music. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It
See,
is.
there's music everywhere here.
Oh my god. All right, that is interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, what
Another
else?
curious fact.
Indeed.
I'm not sure if we are the only country, but I haven't encountered any country whose flag can tell if the country is at war or in peace. So
Because
if
when you
you go,
flip it is the same.
yes, no, the Philippines, when you flip, because when you Google our flag,
Yeah.
it's blue and red.
Uh-huh.
If our country is at peace, the blue part of the flag is the one on top. But
Yes.
yes, you see it.
But
But if we are at war, we flip it over and it's the red one that's on top.
yes. So you can tell the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. So if the Philippines is at war, we raise the flag and put the red one on top.
Yes. Yes.
But if we're on peace, it's blue. And thank God it has been blue ever since I was born.
No, because you
We
said
haven't been.
I thought you're gonna say that when you flip it, you don't recognize it's flipped.
No, it still looks the same. Still looks the same. If you flip
You
it,
just change the
still looks
colors.
the same.
Ah, okay.
Yes, you just change the
Okay.
color that's on top.
I see what you mean. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
And do you know that the Philippines has three of the 10 largest malls in Asia? I don't know. Philippines is a third world country, but for some reason it has a lot of malls. We have three of the 10 largest in Asia.
That is so bizarre because we opened the talk saying that your electricity may cut off every moment. At the same time, you have the largest shopping centers in whole Asia.
I think you know why. You know why? Maybe not even in Asia, maybe in the world. You know why? Because when there's no electricity at home, people go to the malls for the air conditioning.
Also, the electricity doesn't stop there.
Yeah, because they have generators.
I see. Okay.
How you
Ah.
know? So funny, right? Filipinos. Oh, there's no electricity. Let's go to the mall because it's cold there.
You know what? Probably they're turning off your electricity on purpose so you go to the mall and spend some money there.
Oh, there. That's a that's a conspiracy. I like how
Uh-huh.
you think. I like how you think,
Think
Pavel.
about this. Which times usually your electricity is off?
At night. So there's no mall by then.
Ah,
To
okay.
be
So it's
fair, they turn it off at night.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not true then. Ah, okay. All right.
Another curious fact. Philippines is the selfie capital of the world. So people take a lot of selfies here.
Yeah, that's Jeff one more time. Once again, it's Jeff. He's like, tuka, 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 tuka. Selfie,
I
selfie,
like
selfie.
this friend, Jeb.
Yeah, he's.
Very
It
Filipino.
looks like. Yeah, it looks like because I haven't been, talking with him in in depth about the Philippines, but it seems like he is
Mm-hmm.
proper Filipino. Now that I'm talking to you, it's just he matches the profile fully, fully.
Yep, yep. So is he from? So is he's working in London now?
Yes, he's in London.
What does he do?
He's learning coding now, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna send you his profile. You
Uh,
can check him out if you want. Yeah, he's so
okay,
funny.
this coding. Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
those are the curious facts in the Philippines. Unless you have other questions, do you
What
want
did
to
you tell
know
me in the
more?
beginning before we started recording? You told me something curious, didn't you? And I told you
Was it?
don't
Oh
tell me.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. What was
yeah,
it?
yeah. So Philippines has more than 170 dialects. So we have two main languages. So it's Tagalog, our culture, and English. Some like the our grandmas and grandpas can speak Spanish because we were colonized by Spain for around 333 years. It's a long time to be colonized. That's why we have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Spanish things in us. Like our religion, Christianity, was brought to us by the Spaniards. Um, our language. So yeah, so Tagalog, English, and a little bit of Spanish. But because we are scattered all over, because we have a lot of islands, people from those islands have come up with a way to communicate to each other. That's why we have more than 170 languages, and all of them are active. All of them are being used. I personally know how to speak Tagalog, English, and Bicolano, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Bicol. Yep.
Is it a big difference
So
in
imagine.
Bicolano
Yeah,
and yeah?
yeah, yeah. It's a big difference. Like if you're from Manila and you hear people talking in Bicol, you wouldn't understand anything. Zero.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's a consequence of being an archipelago. We don't realize the small things that come out of being an archipelago, like slow internet, electricity, multiple languages, and a lot of beautiful islands.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things.
What religions are there in the Philippines?
So, surprisingly, Philippines is the only Christian nation in Asia. Our neighbors are mostly Buddhists. We're the
Mm.
only nation that remains to be 98% Christian because of the Spanish colonial influence. Because we were colonized for 300 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, we're the only ones remaining to be Catholic. We also have
Interesting.
Muslim friends down in the south, but we are predominantly Christian.
Okay. So you say Muslims are they have their own they're not scattered, but they have own their regions. They're mainly on the south.
Yeah, yeah.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. All right. Excellent. What about the tell us a story, something that happened with you in the Philippines. Do you have something
Huh.
interesting, curious for us?
Now I think about it. Here in the Philippines, I mentioned this a while ago, but not extensively. Here in the Philippines, when we have festivals, what's exciting to do is to go out in the streets, celebrate with the people, go sing and dance with people you don't know, hug people you don't know, and then get invited in houses of people you don't know, eat their food, and then jump to another house. That's how we do festivals here, and it's really, really fun. I've been to houses of people I don't know. And if you're a germ freak, you'd be like, "What are you doing? Eating and going into houses you don't know?" But I think it's really how the Filipinos are. We're very welcoming, and when you come here, it's something you would feel. I know foreigners who come here and then who never left. So they just love it so much here. I don't have much personal stories because I haven't been around, sadly. I haven't been
Oh,
around. I've been working, doing the corporate life. But how I wish I have more stories to tell. Oh, I have one actually.
go
So
ahead.
because we're an island, right? So we have a lot of waters. I have swam with 13 whale sharks.
How did that happen?
Yeah. So here in the Philippines, we have a place called Donsol, Sorsogon. Whale sharks are the biggest fish in the world. So we have a lot of those here. And there's a diving site where you go there, and then a professional diver would go with you and go whale shark sightseeing. So there are times if you're not lucky, you don't get to see any whale shark if they decide to go, swim somewhere else. But if you're lucky and it's the day that they, go to the area of Donsol, Sorsogon, you see them, you could touch them and swim with them. So whale sharks, they don't eat humans. They eat planktons, but you know how big they are? They can be as big as two cars combined. One could be as big as a small house.
Did you touch them?
I did. We were
Ooh.
told not to. We were told not to. Don't touch the whale shark. Don't swim with them because they're if the tail hits you, man, you like ugh. But being me, I'd be like, okay, I won't touch. And then when I saw it, I just grabbed the thing and then just let go when it was going too deep. They're rubbery. You would be surprised. You'd think they're
You
slimy.
grabbed
No,
the
they're
thing?
not.
You grabbed the
Yeah, the
fin?
underfin. Yeah, that one. Because they have like a fin
Yes,
here,
yes,
something
yes,
like
yes.
that.
But you
Yeah,
grabbed it and
yeah,
you're basically hitchhiking on the shark?
yeah.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Well, that is
Yeah,
some
13 of
experience to
those,
be fair.
man.
That is some
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Wow,
Come think
amazing.
about it. I could have died there, right? But yeah, I didn't die. So I'm still
Yeah, good.
safe.
I'm happy you're still alive. Okay, perfect. Wow, that was fabulous talk. How about we wrap it up? What would you like to say? Something like something we missed, or just wrap it up however you wish for, however you wish, and
Mhm.
just say something for end.
Okay, for those of you listening in this podcast, once the pandemic is over, I'd really encourage you to, put it in your bucket list to visit the Philippines. Best time to come here is during summer. Bring your friends, bring your cotton clothes, bring your cameras and a good amount of pocket money because there are a lot of things to explore here. I have beaches here. I have really happy people. I have affordable transportation, food, and shopping here. I promise you, you would enjoy. Just always plan your trips ahead so you know what you're getting yourself into. But generally, Philippines is safe. Just you know, be extra extra careful. Always be safe and enjoy. Because I promise you, the Philippines would give you a really really good time. Pavel, I'm eyeing on you.
That was amazing, and I love how he said, "I have this and this and this," and not "we have this and this and this." I just love how you said, "I have, come visit me." Ah, phew, fabulous! I could not have finished it better. Merrill, thank you so much for joining. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you and to learn more about the Philippines and actually make a profile of an actual Philippine. And now know it's like selfies, humming and singing and
Mm-hmm.
karaoke and
Mm-hmm.
pork and ballot. Okay, that was great. Thanks so much. I know it's evening with you now. I wish you a
Mhm.
fantastic evening and talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you, Pavel.